Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're opening one of the most fascinating financial case files of the 21st century. It's a story that's been whispered in business schools, debated in boardrooms, and argued endlessly on Twitter threads. How did Elon Musk really get rich? This isn't another "he built Tesla and made billions" story. No. Today we're putting on our detective hats and tracing every dollar that turned a South African kid with a computer into the world's most talked about billionaire. From the first code he sold at age 12 to the billion-dollar PayPal deal, from rockets that exploded to cars that redefined the industry, we're following the money trail step by step. And our rules? Simple. Every section will uncover a new clue, the moves, the risks, the numbers, until we finally piece together the truth about how Elon Musk actually got rich. 1. The origin and seed money. Picture this: Pretoria, South Africa, 1971. A young Elon Musk growing up curious, coding and dreaming. By his late teens he'd already moved to North America, grabbed a degree in economics and physics, and before he turned 30 he was ready to play big. Fast forward to 1995. Musk co-founds Zip2 with his brother. The business? An online directory and city guide software for newspapers, early internet dreams in action. In 1999, Zip2 was sold to Compaq for about $307 million. Musk walks away with roughly $22 million for his 7% stake. This was his runway, his seed capital, the real launch pad. 2. The payment leap and capital injection. With the Zip2 payout in hand, Musk didn't sit idle. In late 1999 he founded X.com, an early online banking platform. That quickly merged with Confinity, and by 2002 PayPal was sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Musk's share? Around $175 million. Now the plot thickens. With roughly $200 million in his war chest, Musk sets his eyes on two audacious fronts: electric cars and space rockets. 3. The high-risk ventures, rockets and electric cars. In 2002 he found SpaceX with the goal of making rockets reusable and reaching Mars. It's insanely high risk, failures mount, budget tight. But Musk pushes on. Then in 2004 he invests about $6.35 million into Tesla Motors, a fledgling electric car company. By 2008 Tesla is nearly bankrupt. SpaceX had multiple launch failures. Now the detective work shows these weren't safe bets, they were all-in gambles. And Musk poured much of his own money in. But then the turn: Tesla launches the Roadster Model S. SpaceX launches Falcon 1 and begins securing NASA contracts. The valuations begin to soar. 4. Wealth explodes, valuations, stakes and ownership. Here's where things get wild. By 2020 to 2021, Musk's wealth doesn't just grow, it erupts. His net worth jumps from tens of billions to $150 billion in a year and beyond. Most of that wealth comes from his ownership stakes. Tesla, a large percentage ownership. As Tesla's stock massively appreciated, so did Musk's net worth. SpaceX, a private company valuation that by some estimates values Musk's stake at tens of billions. These numbers aren't from salary, they're from equity. From ownership. The detective twist: it's not just car company or rocket company, it's owning the future and owning the means to control that future. 5. The Twitter takeover, or should we say, Case File X. Alright detectives, here's where the story takes a wild turn. It's 2022. Elon Musk, already one of the richest men alive, makes a move that shocks both Silicon Valley and Wall Street. Out of nowhere, he announces his plan to buy Twitter, the global town square of the internet, for a mind-bending $44 billion. But this wasn't just a random billionaire flex. This was strategy. Because underneath all the memes and chaos, Musk wasn't just buying a social network. He was buying influence, data, and a global communication engine that governments, journalists, and CEOs couldn't ignore. Now let's break down the money trail. When the deal closed in October 2022, Musk didn't simply swipe his credit card. He structured a complex buyout. Roughly $27 billion came from his own equity, mostly by selling Tesla shares, triggering waves of volatility in the stock. Around $13 billion came from loans backed by Twitter's own assets. The rest came from private investors like Larry Ellison and Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, who rolled their stakes into the new company. At first glance, it looked like a massive cash drain. Analysts said he'd overpaid, Twitter was losing money, ad revenue was dropping, and layoffs hit hard. Within months, Musk rebranded the platform to X, promising to turn it into an everything app, payments, video, AI, and beyond. But here's the twist most people miss. While the purchase temporarily shaved billions off his net worth on paper, it cemented Musk's control over one of the world's most powerful platforms. And control, my friends, is a form of wealth no spreadsheet can measure. Let's zoom out. The acquisition did three major things. Expanded his ecosystem. Musk didn't just own Tesla and SpaceX anymore. With X, he added a real-time communication layer to his empire. It gave him direct access to hundreds of millions of users, and a launchpad for his other ventures like Starlink, Neuralink, and Tesla AI. Shifted market influence. Every tweet or post he made could move billions in crypto and stocks overnight. That kind of market sway adds invisible value. Investors watch his moves like traders watch charts. Set the stage for a super app future. Musk's long-term play is turning X into a global platform for payments and commerce. If successful, it could rival WeChat and tap into trillions in transaction volume. He's already acquired payment licenses in several US states, setting the infrastructure in motion. Financially speaking, the X acquisition might not have directly made him richer yet, but strategically, it amplified his sphere of influence, and influence drives opportunity. Because once you own the platform where conversations happen, you don't just make money. You shape the markets that create it. So while the headlines screamed, Musk loses billions buying Twitter, the case file tells a deeper truth. He traded liquidity for leverage, cash for control, and short-term loss for long-term power. And in the world of the ultra-rich, that's the ultimate investment. 6. Tesla, the crown jewel but not the whole kingdom. Alright detectives, time to pull out one of the biggest clues in this entire case file. Tesla. Because if you ask most people how Elon Musk got rich, 9 out of 10 will say, Tesla, of course. And while they're partly right, they're also missing the bigger picture. Let's rewind the tape. In 2004, Tesla wasn't even Elon Musk's idea. It was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, two engineers with a dream to build electric cars that didn't suck. Musk came in later, investing $6.5 million in Tesla's series of funding round, instantly becoming its largest shareholder and chairman of the board. That single investment would become one of the greatest financial plays in modern history. Now here's the detective's twist. Musk didn't just throw money in and sit back. He inserted himself into the company's DNA, shaping its vision, pushing innovation, and taking over as CEO in 2008, right when the company was almost bankrupt. Tesla's early days were a storm. They had production delays, exploding batteries, and near-zero cash flow. At one point, Musk had to choose between saving Tesla or SpaceX. He split his remaining $30 million and bet on both, a move that could have ended him financially. Then came 2012, the launch of the Model S, Tesla's first luxury electric sedan. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. It proved that electric vehicles could be fast, sexy, and aspirational. Investors noticed. The stock began to climb. By 2020, Tesla's valuation exploded. The company hit a $1 trillion market cap in 2021, making it one of the most valuable car companies in history. At its peak, Musk's net worth soared past $300 billion, largely due to his Tesla shares. But here's the catch. Musk doesn't draw a salary from Tesla. His wealth comes from equity and stock options, performance-based rewards tied to milestones like production numbers and market value. This means when Tesla wins, Musk really wins. Let's follow the numbers. As of 2025, Musk owns roughly 13% to 14% of Tesla, down from over 20% after selling shares to fund his Twitter acquisition. Even after those sales, that stake is worth well over $100 billion depending on the stock's swing. Since Tesla went public in 2010, its shares have grown over 20,000%, turning early investors into millionaires and Musk into the richest man on earth. But remember, detectives, every big clue has a twist. Tesla is a major contributor to Musk's wealth, yes, but it's not the only one. SpaceX, the Boring Company, Neuralink, and now X all form part of the bigger ecosystem. Still, Tesla remains the crown jewel, the company that made Musk a household name, opened doors to investors and gave him the financial firepower to buy Twitter, launch rockets, and fund his crazy futuristic ideas. In short, Tesla wasn't the whole kingdom, but it built the castle walls. And those walls are still standing strong. The connections, the moves, and what you can learn. Let's crack open the playbook. Connections and timing. Musk's early internet success, the sale of PayPal, gave him both cash and credibility. Control of ownership. He didn't just work in these companies. He owned meaningful stakes, took leadership roles, and steered direction. High-risk tolerance. He bet big when others were cautious. When Tesla was near bankruptcy, he invested more. Leveraging valuations. Wealth didn't just come from today's profits, it came from tomorrow's promises baked into equity. Diversification into frontier fields, cars, space, AI, neurotech. Musk is always moving into the next frontier. What you can learn. It's not just about working hard, it's about owning, betting on something that scales, and having the guts to stick with it when everyone doubts you. So when someone says, "How did Elon Musk get rich?" it isn't the short answer of "he made Tesla cars." The forensic narrative shows early software sale, big payment platforms, aggressive reinvestment into futuristic bets, major ownership and valuation explosion. If you're watching this to figure out your path to wealth, the clues are here. Not every path will look like Musk's, but one thing is sure, the principles hold. Want more eye-opening videos like this about how famous people in the world got rich? Subscribe to this channel because you're about to eat good.